right, let's go ahead and get started then. Welcome to the Forum Third Podcast number 129. I am Wadabra, and here with me tonight I have these lovely people. Zap45.
Hey, everybody.
Whoopwave.
Who said you would host? And hello.
Chaos Mana.
Hello.
Returning once again, Mr. Fusion.
What up?
And our long-lost Lozelda, who's finished her travels afar.
A fraud.
Yo, my homies, I've
Abroad
missed
and
you.
far and wide.
I didn't actually miss you. I'd rather be traveling again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, see, the good thing with the internet is you can still be traveling and still be with us. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's like a lot of effort and work and stuff.
Nah, it's just Skype.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm with you. It's way too much work to keep up with that shit on the go.
Listen.
Exactly. I did it once. It was okay. I was like, no, I'm not doing it again.
It's like you're out to party hard. You don't want to have to worry about what's going on the internet.
God, did I party hard. My liver is not 21 years old anymore by far, and it reminded me of that so badly.
Did you finally get a hangover?
I think I got the closest I could possibly be. Like when I woke up on Friday morning, I didn't feel like I had a hangover. I didn't have a headache. Noise and sound and light and none of that was a problem. But I had the distinct foreboding feeling of what would happen if I left my bed. I was like, that's the first time I've not been able to just be like, wake up like it's a normal day. I'm just gonna have to lay here for like 3 hours just to make sure. Make sure
You have to,
I don't
like,
suddenly
fall over or something?
get nauseous and die. And that's all saying a lot because of the mattress I was sleeping on. I was sleeping on a mattress on a floor. Like, it's not even like an actual bed. I was literally like 6 inches off the ground. I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna be here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Please and thank you.
God, so have you not ever had a hangover? Like, never once?
Never once. Never once.
fuck
That
is
might
wrong
change
with you?
this week. That might change this weekend because that's gonna be a
that's
thing,
such
but
bullshit. I hate it. I'm
talk about
21
that
and
later.
I've gotten a hangover, and I'm just
Hungover?
hungover.
I guess
hungover.
maybe like the entire half of your abdomen is actually just liver, and
It might
you're like
be.
missing half your insides.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works, man.
It's like that Invader
I have-
Zim episode where she just keeps eating people's livers to like build up on how many livers she has. Like it just all grows into one.
I do not remember
gelatinous
that
mass.
episode of
don't
Invader
mean
Zim.
No.
Invader
Invader Zim.
Livers?
He wanted to prove that he was a real boy, so he kept eating other people's organs.
Yes, he
As
didn't
you do.
eat them. He would just swallow them. Yes,
Well, yeah, he would swallow.
Don't
them.
remember
So
that
he was
episode
just-
either.
What?
because he was going to take a physical, and they were going to do X-rays on him, and he felt like they would expose his alien innards. So he went around just basically taking other people's organs, and he got really fat.
Yeah.
Because he's just sitting like in the front of the nurse's office, and he's like this 300-pound fat guy just sitting there, and he's sweating because he's been just swallowing everybody's organs.
I
and he gets the nurses,
don't
like-
remember that. What? I need to rewatch Invader Zim now.
I think that one sticks out most to me because of how disgusting it was.
It
called
sounds
Dark
like
Harvest.
I've not seen it, but
Dark
it sounds like
Harvest.
it very much
Dark
turns out.
Harvest.
Yeah, go.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a shame it got canceled so early. It didn't only get like 2 seasons.
Yeah,
Really?
it only got it. I thought I only got 1 or 2.
One
yeah.
season.
He got
That-
2. Technically, it was 1 season that was done, but they split it into 2.
How many
Oh,
episodes
okay.
then?
24, I think.
Oh, okay, so it's basically one season.
Yeah.
And
Also,
then they actually didn't air the final 2 episodes, and then they did it as like a Christmas special or something.
Blech.
yeah,
Were they actually Christmas themed episodes, or was it
I
just
don't
like,
think
we'll just finally do
they
it?
probably just edited some Christmas hats on. Like that's
Yeah,
probably.
it's actually it was 27 episodes, and if you don't know who the artist that created it was Jonan Vasquez. His first real big comic was one of my favorites. It's called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. And
How
you
fitting.
Really go read it. It's really
Yeah.
fucking good.
I can see why. Like, I know Invader Zim, I think, would do well on TV now, but it was kind of ahead of its time and a little too edgy.
Too early.
Little
Or,
too dark, little too edgy. Yes.
It
Yeah,
could
people
find a
like-
home on Adult Swim nowadays,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
Especially with something
Or
like Rick and Morty
FX.
on Adult Swim. It's like, yeah, you could totally like squeeze Invader Zim in there, and even like go a little bit farther than what they were able to do originally.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had Boondocks on Adult Swim, I believe, too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Boondocks is pretty good.
That show
another
is
good show, yeah.
hilariously racist.
Yeah, there's so many good quotes from that show that I'm like, I wish I could say these. I never can.
What's the
Nor
kid's
should
name
you
that
on
they
air.
mocked the little boy that stole the car? You know what I'm talking about? The real life, like the kid that they interviewed on TV. He was like 10 and he stole his grandma's
Oh yeah,
car,
and he's like, I want to
he
do
didn't give
hood
a
rat
shit.
things. Yeah, I remember the
I want to do
kid.
hood rat things. I want to be a gangster. Yeah.
And the kid on the TV show was just fucking hilarious.
The psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy. I forget his name now, man.
It's pretty brutal. The 10-year-old psychopath who gets one of the brothers, like, basically like indebted to him or whatever. And just this is a whole little arc. It's pretty cool.
I have to go watch the Boondocks.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
that show.
This is a long time I've seen it. Let's all just stop doing the podcast and go watch Boondocks.
Yeah. Let's go do that real quick.
We should do that on one of our watches things. that
We've
we
been
do.
wanting to do like
movie
TV
night?
shows and stuff.
That one.
It's kind of hard to do TV shows with a movie night.
Oh,
Like, do you
bah.
watch
I'm just
The
hearing
amount?
excuses now. Yeah, now shut your mouth.
Lamilton Tayshawn that's the character's name, Lamilton Tayshawn. It's after the real boy's name is Latarian Milton. He was like a 10-year-old. He stole his 7. He was 7. 7-year-old. This is real. He's 7-year-old boy stole his grandmother's car, took it for a joyride because he wanted to take his friends out.
Wait, so it wasn't just him. He also like picked up his friends and they
Yeah.
went for a ride in his.
And then they
grandma's car.
crashed it.
7-year-old boy. That's the real
They
story.
crashed
Yeah.
it.
This kid's kind of badass in a.
Isn't he? And like in the news interview, he's being interviewed, and he just kind of has this "I don't give a fuck" attitude.
Oh,
for a
gosh.
7-year-old. So the Boondocks made fun of him, and it's a bigger, older boy, but this black boy's got a big fro, and he's just sitting there with his eyes kind of crossed, talking about how he buys and smokes cigarettes, and he don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You ever think about like what other people have done at such a young age and what you were doing at that age? Like, at 7 years old, I was like playing Pokemon, and that kid's like stealing cows. Not sure if that's good or
Yeah.
bad.
Well, I mean, my niece is I have a couple of nieces that are near 16 and 17. My parents got married at 16. That
Dude,
scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same thing when what was it? When I turned the same age my mother was when she gave birth to me. I like looked at her. I'm like, what the hell were you thinking having a kid at my age?
Really, man.
it's like
Seriously.
when you hear stories about like,
And then she just kind of shrugs and says, hormones.
yeah, there you go.
I'm like, oh.
It's like when you like hear about 17-year-old kids back in World War II who like fake their age to get into the war. And, like, at 17, I was like watching anime, and they were like pilot gunners over the Pacific. Makes you think about it.
Yeah. Some rough stuff, basically.
Well, that's why I'm one of those people that feel like if a soldier's 18 years old, if he's a soldier, he should be allowed
Yeah.
to buy beer.
There are
and
people
smokes.
who are
He's
my
18, but he
now there are
fought for
people
his
who are
country.
my age that probably served their active duty at 22. Like, they could have enlisted at 18 and got out at 22. I know now in reserve. That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
A lot of people from senior class or alumni from my high school have enlisted. We in Tucson, I think we have the highest enlistment rate for my high
Really?
school, and we also have the most casualties
Oh,
as
well.
soldiers, Marines, and Air Force. And
Do you go to the high school in Starship Troopers?
No,
Did you-
just
Does
people
Michael
leaving the
Ironsides
country,
teach you
know?
science class?
They go to the same school where all the redcoats come from in Star
Oh, I was
Trek.
gonna say, like, for some reason you said Redcoat, I thought, like, the Confederacy, and then I'm like, wait, they're gray. Wait a minute.
The redcoats.
I
are
thought he
the-
accidentally meant the brown coats and like Firefly.
No.
I
I don't know
like,
what
you're getting your coats wrong.
Whatever
dude.
they
The
are.
red
And it's
shirts is what
red
you're supposed
shirts.
to say.
Whatever.
There's no coats in
You knew
Star
what I was
Trek.
talking about.
The British?
Yeah,
are the
exactly.
British.
The British
Training British soldiers in Tucson?
So hey, so
Yes.
Lozanda, how was that movie that you went to go see?
It was pretty good.
I know
it was
we're
a
not.
lot of fun.
You're not going to give spoilers.
So-
I just want to hear if it was good.
No, I don't. Yeah, so we're talking about Laser Team. I got to go to the premiere last week. I really liked it. You know, I don't. To be fully honest, it's not like it's gonna win any awards or anything.
No, of course not.
But it was a fun movie.
I
Like,
can
there was some good
imagine it would
you
be
know.
a really fun just to, like, it's not going to be the super blockbuster, but it's still going to be an amazing experience, especially if
Yeah.
you like the people. And they have a good
Yeah,
sense
it
of
was-
humor anyway.
It was a lot of fun. There was some good laughs in it. Like I will go see it again, and I'll watch it again when I get a copy at home.
Yes, so
you can-
it's not getting an actual release in theaters, is it? It's just a DVD,
Possibly.
right?
It's possible. They're still like dancing around that question. They keep saying they have a distribution plan.
Probably like the draft. Probably the draft house, right?
So I'm hoping it's all the draft houses. That's what I'm crossing my fingers for, because there's one that's literally 10 minutes from me.
I want a draft house.
Super cool if they.
Well, you would think so,
that.
because they've given the draft house
and they did
over the
years, Ruby
so.
thing at draft house.
Well, but that's the funny thing is, so like with all the events they've done in Alamos over the last year or two, even just going back that far, they've never come to this one.
Oh. That's right, because you always complain about that.
Yeah, I'm like, they're right here.
When
it's
they
like,
have a Ruby
right
event
here.
or
is it like
never...
each of them is run by a different guy, and the boss of this particular one is just being an ass?
No, it's owned by the same company.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but
so
I wonder if it's like showing it is up to the individual people, and that's why they didn't.
Yeah. The individual owners or whatever.
Yeah,
or they just don't realize one got up here. I don't know, but
they forgot the tape because it was
like,
so
oh
close.
shit, we have one in Kalamazoo.
So it was fun. I liked it, and it was fun. The whole event or surrounding it too kind of helped, but it's definitely, you can tell which parts maybe they started to run out of some time on. Just with some of the visual effects, you're like, yeah, that could use a little love,
a little polish.
But my understanding is that the version that was released at the premiere and stuff, it is a mostly finished version, but they still have a little bit of cleanup they're going to do for sound and visual. So I'm not passing judgment on those parts quite yet.
Right on.
Knowing that they might still get cleaned
Okay,
up.
so technically they're still in post production then.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like they got it done and then they went, eh. So what my understanding is there's still one final pass that they wanted to do, but they just needed to get it out for Fantastic Fest. So.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, what I've seen, it's actually gotten pretty positive reviews. There's not a lot of reviews, but most of the ones that I've seen have given it a lot of praise.
I think it was. I think Matt posted it was either on Vanity Fair or one of the other websites where they said it out Fantastic Four.
To be fair, that's not a good. Yeah,
just honestly not.
Which
that
wasn't.
hard to do.
Which is. I mean, it did take a lot of work to do that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, it's a good movie, especially when you consider it is it's a low-budget indie film.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's going ahead of what is a lot more established, like, made by a bigger company.
And and you have a budget of $2 million versus a budget of $160 million.
And it's not just an indie film, it's a crowd-funded indie film.
Yes.
So that makes it even more awesome.
Yeah, so when you look at it through that filter, you're definitely like, holy shit, this is super awesome. That I can't believe they did this stuff. But we'll talk about it more when it like starts to get actually released, because I have opinions on things in it, but they're spoilery.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Well, I'm a backer, so I'm going to be getting the DVD/Blu-ray. So we have this wonderful show called Making the Rounds, where we review stuff like that's current media, and so maybe we can talk about it there. Lo Zelda.
The one thing I will say is, you've got the four main guys, and you've got Colton, who's actually is legit an actor, and then you've got Gavin, Bernie, and Michael. And there are some instances where you can tell that some of the people in that group aren't actors.
I can imagine Gavin might have a couple of awkward moments.
So I'm not gonna elaborate on it too much right now, but there was definitely a few moments where I'm like, oh, no, that's this is not good.
Like, you don't know how to act. Stick to voice work.
This is kind of stiff and uncomfortable.
They're used to doing the RT shorts, which while they're acting in a way, they're meant to be awkward and silly.
Well, because I think the other thing you have to keep in mind is, like, people are like, oh, they do the shorts, so, like, they must be good actors. And it's like, the shorts, especially if you look at, like, the old RT shorts, like, the character that Bernie plays is Bernie. Like, Bernie's playing Bernie.
It's an exaggerated version of Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're playing an exaggerated version of yourself, it's very different than playing a different character. That somebody else has decided you need to be.
Yep.
And you can tell at some points where you're like, you're definitely this is not a thing you do on a regular basis. But
hey,
again,
it's the best $2,000 or $2 million can get you.
Side note, what would be if you had to play an exaggerated version of yourself? How would you act?
I don't know if I could exaggerate myself
really,
without hurting
really
something.
Fucking dumb. just basically really fucking dumb. And
you're talking about yourself.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
everyone.
I was like, excuse
Yeah, I'm like,
me?
wait a minute.
yeah, I'm a little busy. So I mean, you know,
It's like, remind me where you live. I need to come beat the shit out of you. What's going on?
I mean,
Yeah, and this is exactly why Lozelda. It would be best Lozelda never actually like exaggerate her own personality because she would become incredibly dangerous.
be queen bitch.
I think that'd be dangerous for everyone involved.
I was gonna say I'd probably get charged with like road rage or something. Yeah.
Fusion. I don't think it's something you can get charged with.
Charging it with being angry.
Charged with assault due to road rage. There you go.
As he's standing before the judge,
How do you plea?
Road
we
rage.
find you guilty of road rage.
Well, hey, you know what?
50
People are
years.
now going to court, trying to claim that they believe they're in the Matrix when they commit crimes.
Oh.
So
God damn it.
What?
yeah, you didn't know
Okay,
that.
wait. Okay. So not only are people claiming they're... What do you mean they're going to court claiming they're in the Matrix?
What have they done?
They're having their legal counsel tell the judge and the jury that their client believes
So they're just
they
pleading
are in the
insanity.
Matrix.
Is basically.
I am not kidding. No, they're not pleading insanity. They're saying that the diminished mental capacity due to the fact that they believe that they are in the Matrix.
So insanity. It's just fancy words for insanity is what I'm hearing.
Well, it's not straight insanity, but
Yeah.
it's basically that. It's
mean,
like
They're trying to set a standard, basically. If you plead,
I plead
pleading
the
insanity
Matrix.
is a standard itself. This is a new. They're trying to basically break new ground. With
This is stupid, though. Like seriously.
The new amendment, the one.
I mean,
one.
there are many Eastern philosophies that talk about and sort of make you embody the fact that you're not on, that there are multiple planes of existence, and the higher enlightenment you reach, the farther.
Yeah, but those
away you
don't
are
hold
from
up in court.
reality.
Well,
Yeah,
At
but
the
it
same
doesn't- it
time,
doesn't-
though,
it doesn't
this is
lead you to
reality
stabbing
of a
your girlfriend,
specific
okay?
movie franchise,
True,
not
true.
like
it's like
some other
I
thing
saw that movie,
it's
The
not an
Matrix, and I think I'm in the Matrix now, so that's why I was speeding.
Yeah.
we're barely getting. I mean, granted, technology has advanced, but we're not quite at the putting yourself in a computer. We're simulating computers around us, but
And-
not the.
Well, that's the
not
thing.
getting
Is
into
we
them
don't
quite yet.
There's that whole are you a brain in the jar question. You can't really prove that you're a brain in the jar, and you can't really disprove that you're a brain in the jar. But you could be a brain in the jar. It's that whole.
Well, there's also a legit
line of
scientific
thought.
theory that our universe may actually be a simulation. We may actually be inside a simulation. This is a real theory. But
Yeah, there's a computer
be
doing
that as it
tests
may,
right now, right?
it doesn't matter if it is a simulation or if it's not a simulation.
Yeah, it's just like if you break the
Simulation is our
rule,
reality, so
if you
you
cheat
just
in,
gotta fucking deal
like
with it.
a video game, you're also going to get punished. Like, you can't be cheating in a virtual world, alright? You can't be breaking the law. That's how it works.
yeah, virtual
Yeah.
world has
Although,
its own virtual.
all of you
rules,
speaking about that
and
makes me
you have
really
still
want to
follow
talk
them.
about Soma. The new game by the guys who made Amnesia.
Is it
I think
really
it might
good,
be the
Will?
game that's like specifically targeted towards me. Last part.
Really?
Well, it makes you want to talk about
started off
Soma.
by
It makes me
saying,
want to talk
No, no,
about
it's not
it's not
scary.
scary. It's not. It's
But
not
it's good.
Like it's just a bunch of puzzles. Well, I know it's not scary, but you said it was
Yeah,
just
but it's
like
still
a bunch
good.
of puzzle solving.
Yes.
But it's actually very interesting.
I don't want to give anything away, like spoiler wise, but
Wow.
Wow, he's tongue-tied.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just that good.
but
It made
you guys
that
talking
good.
about
Jeez.
like AI and
Yeah,
what's
how in a
real
mo-
and what's not. It's really applicable to the game, and I highly suggest.
oh,
it does,
it
yes.
has a psychological play to it. I guess.
Basically, like all the
Oh,
robots.
sure, that's pretty cool.
I like games that deal with like I've had a couple of games that kind of like Amnesia. If you get more insane and more freaked out by the creatures, then you'll start seeing things and hearing things that aren't there, thus
Which is cool,
perpetuating
yeah.
your scared feeling.
Yeah, because last podcast we were like, "Hey, I heard this game Soma came out," and I broke down and bought it, and it's very good. So, as a follow-up to last podcast thing, you should play it. If you like the concept of artificial intelligence and like being underwater, you'll like Soma.
So yeah, well, I thought I said it before. Like it was like an underwater aperture.
Not so much an underwater
dimension.
aperture.
Or basically,
It's more like an underwater vault from Fallout.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because I
Pretty cool.
saw in the description omnipresent AI, and that got
Yeah,
me
it
excited
is
the last time.
kind of. I haven't encountered it yet, but it's sort of implied that there is an omnipresent AI somewhere. I've run across other AI.
Oh, okay. So it's not
No,
talking to you.
I've run across
like,
other AI. Like all the
AIs or
robots
anything.
that chase you down say some really weird, like human stuff. Like I remember there was one that's like, "They left us here to die. They left us here to die. I'll tear them apart." I'm like, that sounds like something weird a robot would say. Yeah.
That's
Like
definitely
all the
something
AI
a
is
robot would say,
very
something that,
strangely
like,
human
abides by
for a
commands.
good reason. They're not going to give that reason away because it also gives away a kind of a twist in the game. So
Do they
twist
appear
slash
human
spoiler.
because they're actually
I hope-
sex
I
bots that are
hope-
supposed to look like
I hope they're not
humans
sex
to
bots.
be
They
more
look like
sexy?
forklifts.
You would find some way to spin this into some type of sexual thing, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yeah.
I just did.
I'll put it this way: after sex
You're
bots,
welcome.
they're not
Sex
good
bots.
sex bots. I've encountered submarines and forklifts, so I don't think those are the sexiest of robots that they can come up with.
Listen,
there
the
are people
who
that
marry
do
their
that, which
Car,
is-
so maybe
Yeah.
that's more.
If you like marrying your car, AI, and being
Why would
underwater,
you want to marry your
you'll like
car?
Soma.
Well, it gets the webway
Best
beside
review.
the seal of approval, doesn't it?
Best review
Put that on the box.
of all time.
Are there any games that you guys think
Well-
about that are like AAA titles and that you would like want it to be approached from a different angle? Like the Burial at Sea DLC. How cool would it be if it was there was a BioShock world that you could be in and be a detective and sort of like instead of gunfights and killing people and plasmids, you're more of like a puzzle solving.
More lore
A more
focused.
moral
on
focused
the
and-
world of
more focused.
Bioshock.
That sounds
Yeah.
more like the novelization. What a novelization would be like versus a game.
Are there any Bioshock novels? Like I know there's Halo novels,
fair enough.
obviously, because I've read all of them. But are there any
I
Bioshock
imagine
ones?
so.
Probably there should be. Also, Shimmy Sham Gaming, thank you for joining us for the time that you were able to. Have a wonderful night.
That's Raph.
Goodbye, Shimmy Sham Gaming.
Bye, Raph.
I miss you, and you have a wonderful beard. I think we said hi at once at RTX.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, there's two Bioshock novels. There's an Infinite novel,
Who's it written by?
and there's Rapture.
I mean, think of it like more like a Telltale game.
I mean, they did a Telltale game of
Yeah.
Borderlands, so I assume that could easily be done.
Yeah.
So a game that's literally all about shooting, then making a
Bioshock would be
story
way
game about it
easier.
is interesting.
Yeah. I feel like BioShock would be way easier to do as well because there's so much lore to go from, anywhere from Infinite, to the actual first BioShock. So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool... I just really like
Yeah,
that.
and there's a lot of stuff where I really like the universe and then maybe don't like the story that's within it. Especially with a lot of like shows and animes where I'm like, this could have been good. Damn it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find the worlds of BioShock to be pretty
What's
terrifying
terrifying about it?
myself. Their whole society and everything like
The
that.
whole how
the
it's like the
plasmid
utopian society gone wrong like very quickly.
Yeah, and then there's shit that just doesn't make any sense. Like especially in BioShock Infinite, why wouldn't the police force have access to these like plasmids that people are like handing out for free when you can like set everyone on fire and they're still shooting at you with guns? I'm like, is there some sort of like underlying like just discrepancy here? Like, is there some rule saying the police force must only use, bullets against these crazy people with magic powers? And you're like, and then what about all the inequality and shit like that? Like, hell no. Those universes are like, I want nothing to do with them. I'm just gonna steer clear.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's definitely
There's
something to
certain
think
certain
about.
times where I like certain universes I would like to see more of and do more exploring, which is why I'm glad that there's opportunities in games, like even the one I'm playing, like you could just go through the main campaign, do all the missions and be done. And then there's also the like you could listen to two people just standing there talking and actually get like a significant
By the way,
part of the story.
That's
Just
what I do in the Elder Scrolls
casual
games.
conversations.
The newer ones where they actually have the the voice acting when you can like walk past someone and hear a conversation. I'm like, ooh, what are they talking about? Yeah, that would be a series that I'd like to do that with. If I hope that they can approach it from a different point of view with the next game. But there's so much in the universe of the Elder Scrolls. There's so much history, there's so many details, there's so many interesting people, so many interesting races. So it'd be really cool to do a lot of interesting shit with that universe, aside from you are prisoner, you escape from dungeon type things. So they could definitely do something a little bit different the next time around.
That's one of the few games where I stopped and read all the books and talked to everybody.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like Elder
That's half
Scrolls
the fun of
Oblivion,
it.
It was really cool.
I still have yet to actually go through and read those books, and I really wanted to.
It's like every time I would find one, I would sit there and be like, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to read this book.
The ones that were like about Sheogorath, which was my favorite person. Like I actually stopped and read those, and those were actually really good tales. Like they were like parable style, like what happened in the past, and then like this is how music was given. Like
I felt that way about like
I loved reading those.
But then you get like the really funny like PG-13 adult novels like The Lusty Argonian Maid.
Yeah. I think it's at least in Oblivion and Skyrim. There's like an Easter egg.
I just went to Google that, and if you type in the Lust, it will autocomplete to the Lusty Argonian Maid.
Yeah.
You need to read that story.
I felt that way.
Wonderful. I need to reread it.
It's as raunchy as you can get while still making it.
Oh, the Argonians are those
not
lizard
actually
people.
Be that way.
Isn't there a
Obviously,
website where
it's
someone
an
compiled all the
M-rated
novels?
game, so they don't have to exactly censor themselves. But I think they still kind of kindly dance around it, just enough to make it funny. It's almost funnier because they.
Oh my god,
have
there's a
all these,
cosplay for it.
style references.
Isn't there somebody that created a website where he just basically collected all of the novels?
Probably did on a
each
wiki
game,
or something.
and you can go and read them.
I
website
don't know, but that would be pretty badass. I'd like to find that website.
I could have sworn I saw something about that, like on the Chive or something, because they post a lot of game threads now too. And I could have sworn where some guy just basically compiled every novel of all the games and would just like print them out or just type them out and put them on his website. So.
It'd be super cool if they were also like chronologically stored, so you could read that like basically all of the history that's documented throughout the games. That'd be pretty cool. But
I'm curious now. I'm gonna have to look this up.
I've been super curious about Lozelda's job at Pony Studios and like news updates and stuff. How is that coming along, Lozelda?
I don't know.
Okay, then. I don't know.
Shut down.
Jesus.
That went
Okay. Moving on.
So
Next
last
question.
The last time I was on the podcast, it was still kind of new, and I was still like, you know, going through things and figuring it out and coming up with plans for stuff. So now, like, we have plans. Things are starting to happen. I was hoping to have an answer before we got on the podcast. We're actually having a pony call after the podcast is done. Hopefully we get to announce some cool things that are happening. So if you like free stuff and you're a competitive person, you probably want to be paying attention to the pony Twitter over the next couple days, in theory. Just saying. We're also trying to set up a charity event with a group, which will be really cool.
Is it Extra Life related?
It is not Extra Life related, no. So we're trying to set up something there, and then maybe a super secret, awesome special stream coming up in the next maybe like month or two. So,
Sweet.
so you know, stuff and things. So good things are starting to happen now that I got my footing under me and I can start doing stuff.
Awesome.
So.
Also, have you checked out any API aggregators for all the social medias you have to manage now, or? I'm just curious because I actually just recently, this may sound like a plug or I'm being paid, but I just recently checked, Mark Gardner from the Weirdlings suggested Hootsuite. It's a 30-day free trial, and then it's $10 a month for a year. It's amazing. Like, I can post from I just basically sign in using Hootsuite through each social media, and then I can use every single social media, like TFT Plays, Twitter, the forum thread, Twitter.
So you're pretty much
What
paying
about
them
multiple
so you can be
support, Doug?
lazy.
Yeah,
Right?
well, it's very streamlined.
I mean, at the same time, if you just like kept like set it to save like the cookies from all the places, like that would save you a lot of money.
Cookies.
I mean, here's how I
cookies sound
see it.
good right now.
It's
I could
not
go for
it's
some
not
cookies.
just I can multi-post so I can post to multiple websites or multiple social medias at once. I can schedule posts because we have more than just a Twitter and a Facebook. We have a Tumblr, we have an Instagram, we have our YouTube channels
Whose
that I need
fault
to keep
is
up with.
that?
It's my fault, okay? But more importantly, because I'm an idiot. No, because I want to connect more of our content and create different types of content for everyone to enjoy. So that's why I have something like Hootsuite. I believe there's something that you can do for free, but to have less, I got
They advertise artificial Viagra or something on the free
no,
version.
not at all.
you
Probably, actually. I don't know. I don't have the
See,
free
like-
version.
See, my thing is that I don't have a ton of social media for a single account. Like I have Pony stuff, I have the RT Michigan stuff, and so for me, having an aggregator like that doesn't really do me a lot of good because it's like I have Twitter and Facebook for
Yeah.
everything, and it's only Twitter and Facebook. So I use TweetDeck,
Okay, TweetDeck.
and that's how I keep track of all my Twitters.
Right on.
And Facebook is pretty easy to just flip between what profile I'm
Yeah.
posting
I've
at. So
done some
it's
streamlining for like Tumblrs. Like when I make a Tumblr post, it automatically posts to the
Fucking Tumblr.
What's
Facebook.
on Tumblr? I'm never on Tumblr.
It's
sadness
No,
and-
there's plenty. There's
That's what's on
creative. There's a lot of creative,
Earth
and beautiful,
porn.
like earth
What?
porn and
What?
Earth
like
porn.
that's what they call pictures of Earth. It's called earth porn,
we just
basically,
learned a
where you take
lot
pictures.
about
of
that.
Is that-
people
doing
lands.
Is that actually like a
trees,
subsection? Like that's
There's
the actual title, or is that
there's-
a name you picked up?
Because in all honesty,
no,
that's
it's
all
the-
I
Well,
use
and
Tumblr
animated
for
GIFs.
is for the porn. That's
Yeah,
it.
well, I mean, it's more for. Yeah, it's animated GIFs.
Oh yeah,
it's-
Tumblr. I used Tumblr a lot when I was posting in Threads because they always had like
Yeah.
a collection of GIFs, just the right GIFs I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, there's photography, there's food, there's music. I mean, it's just you have to look for it. You have to find and cater your Tumblr to your interests. Like that's what I do. I
Good job,
only
Mr. Fusion.
follow and like things that I like. So that's how I use Tumblr.
That's
and
good and all,
it's-
but Mr. Fusion just found that website with all the Elder
The
Scrolls
Imperial
in-game books,
Library.
The
and
Imperial-library.
By the way, I looked on the
Yes.
wiki
Nice.
for Less Argonian Maid. That is pretty funny.
So,
Not gonna
link
lie.
dump.
yeah.
It's one of their best short stories, I think. I kept finding copies of it, and I that was one of them I wasn't really interested in reading, but I kept finding copies of it in the world. I'm like, okay, what the
About
hell is this
bread.
book actually about? And I'm like, oh,
It just broke down basically.
oh, well, okay.
Yeah, that one specific Easter egg. It's just there. Is it there? Like I think Oblivion is like one chapter, and then Skyrim is a different chapter. Like I
think
don't know if it's the
maybe.
same
I
one.
think it has
might be the
both
same one, but
parts
I'm
on the wiki.
pretty sure it's a different copy.
Is Skyrim in the future or in the past? I can't remember. It's in the future,
Uh,
right?
Each game is
Oblivion
in the future.
happened like really close after Morrowind, and then you skip forward a bunch of years.
Like
into
300,
Skyrim.
400 years for Skyrim. Okay.
Maybe not 300, more like 200 at the max.
250 or
I
something.
think it's like 120.
120? Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, when you asked, for some reason that number popped in my head. I think there was something along the line in one of the arcane, when you're at the arcane tower, that something like a story that kind of links you there, where it leads you believe it's like been 120 years.
Fair enough.
I may be wrong, but
Well, yeah,
for some reason that popped in my head.
Judging by like they have a like somewhat similar calendar system in place. Like they still have like what count as months, and they have days of the month, and they have like not quite years, but kind of eras. So there's a vague time, and it was about 200 years. I remember it closer to being that number.
200, yeah. 200, yeah, okay. I don't know why I thought it was 120. There
And
may
then
have been a
ESO
story.
was like forever before Morrowind even.
Is
But anyway,
that
the
still a
Imperial
thing?
Library, and the great thing about this Imperial Library, you can click on the random book tab, and it'll just take you to just a random one. It's pretty funny.
It's like Google's "Are you feeling lucky?" button. Well,
Are you feeling
back
lucky?
when they had the "Are you feeling lucky?" button.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Oh, I just ordered a new phone actually from Google. Their Nexus.
Oh, really?
The big one.
Oh, the
6 6X
Yeah, right
or
on.
6P
We can be
or
Nexus
whatever.
6 buddies.
We'll be best buddies.
Why do you need to carry a tablet around in your pocket?
Because I play
for the
Hearthstone.
lulz.
Leave me alone.
I
If you're
don't- I'm always on the internet on my phone, so.
Well, see, okay, no. I get him because he did everything. He does everything on his phone. But Zach, really? I mean, you don't have a tablet or a laptop at all?
I don't have a tablet. My laptop's too big. Like, I just like playing Hearthstone. You know, like I'm in between Destiny strikes or, you know, just pass the time after a nightfall. You know, just basically I'm trying to do my daily quest for Hearthstone while doing the daily, the weekly, and the nightfall for my Destiny character. So
You know how sad that sounds when you explain it that way?
I'm trying to be the ultimate gamer, I guess.
You just want to be the very best.
I just want to be the most efficient, so I can pay.
Well,
for
it's
My heart breaks
it's a.
That's
What?
fine. It's-
Having to build like there a lot of people are moving into developing like
Konami.
more games for mobile platforms, and if you do have to be out and about, not having to be like, oh, I only have this like Fruit Crusher app, I can actually play something more worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. More worthwhile, and like I feel like Hearthstone has great replayability, and it also it's a premium
that's
app,
just
but-
it's a casual card game, so you can just
Yeah.
kind of play cards with instead of having only play with someone next to you. Then you can play with whoever,
Just across
and
the world.
It's still the same. It's still the same principle. Like you're just kind of playing cards while you wait for something.
Wait, so how much is this app? Is it like $1 or something?
It's free. The
it's
Hearthstone
free.
is free,
Oh, yay.
and you get in-game
It's
currency
like
to pay.
yeah,
for
it's one of
card
those
packs.
things. Yeah, to get fancier stuff, you have to pay, but to try it out and to just play in general, it's going to be free.
Most
So,
of my great cards came
I
from
could
me just
download it for
earning
free
in-game currency.
and challenge you and potentially kick your ass.
Yes, you could.
Okay, this sounds fun now.
Put in quite a bit of hours into Hearthstone, so maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Though Dark is a tactical mastermind, so he might be able
wonderful.
to pull some
I-
plays.
I really do enjoy being defeated, not because of I've been beaten by RPG. No. Listen, it's
I know what you're saying, but
so rare.
I just
Sorry, I was
suddenly
saying
pictured
that.
him with a gag in
it's
his
not-
mouth with a woman in a stiletto standing on his back.
I mean, you know, sometimes a little bit of A, a little bit of B, but more importantly, I like to learn. I like to become
enjoy
stronger.
having a strong challenger. You don't want to dominate just because then that's
Yeah.
not as fun. But if you have a challenger that's more at your caliber,
As long as
then
it's
it
like-
feels more of
Like, if
accomplishment
it's
to beat them.
clearly not RNGesus that fucked me, then I'm okay with losing. But if it's like RNGesus fucked me because I couldn't draw the right cards, or the like,
Heart of the cards,
I
man.
just keep drawing the wrong cards, so like, well, fuck. Well, I can't really do anything about this, and then I get just
Yeah, you have to
completely blasted
you have to
into oblivion.
focus
Power of the
beforehand and then call
Zodia.
forth the.
Well, it's also like I've been losing less now that I've been building my decks more. Like I've been focusing on building my decks and how I build them. So I've been losing a lot
That's
less, but I still lose here and
impossible.
there. So yeah, so it's a fun little game.
Does anybody
as it
play Fallout Shelter anymore?
I don't at all actually
No,
play
I
Fallout
give up.
Shelter. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the problems is it seemed like once you got to a certain point in Fallout Shelters, it would become so ridiculously hard that you would just lose all your progress. Like everyone would die because
Yeah,
the
when you
enemies
get to
you
100,
fight are too.
things start teetering backwards. That's the problem.
So yeah, and like
Get messed up by
also
the
there was the rare problems like what Seaman had when his like entire thing just like corrupted and deleted his save file when he was like really far.
I mean,
in.
it's an advertisement. It's basically what it is. So
Hours
it's
I
like,
played for
if you played it, then it means it worked.
Yeah, it's not meant to be.
If
a
you played it and you got
full-blown
hyped
game,
for
it's
Fallout
really not.
4, like, it works.
Yeah, from the time that I played it, I got the feeling that the game wasn't actually intended to become as popular as it did, and they clearly
Yeah.
weren't prepared for the positive feedback that they got
It
from
was
it.
supposed to be kind of like PT, a playable teaser game to show off what can be, or like the kind of world of the real game.
But you know, it.
Which,
Go ahead.
have you guys seen any of the Bethesda released videos for the special system?
No,
Like,
I have
released
not.
one
Tell me,
letter
please tell me
for each,
now.
like, strength, perception, endurance. They're old timey, like 50s, 60s narrator voice with like black and white animations.
Fallout Boy?
Fallout Boy. The like the bobblehead guys. The Fallout man.
Nah, just
in that
Fallout
kind
Boy.
of like 2D animation. It's really funny and cool. It also
I
educates
already
you
know about the
so
game.
you
How
should
dare
definitely
you?
go check
But
it
no,
out.
all the trailers I've seen of it looks amazing.
It's
I need
yeah,
to
the
save up
trailers,
money
the
for Legacy of the
gameplay,
Void and Fallout 4.
I love where Todd Howard, I believe.
Like I've not played that half of the like Bethesda world at all, but
That's crazy to me.
like this game specifically seems like even more so like I'd like to play it even if it's not the
It looks
like
really good,
luscious
though.
worlds of the Elder Scrolls.
It's way
Oh
more
man,
pretty
this is a
now,
good one to
though.
jump on, I'm sure,
Yeah,
because
this
the
one
map's
is-
going to be huge.
Yeah, and I'd imagine it.
Yeah,
like,
it's not the
with
color
enhanced
gray and
graphics,
brown.
It's gonna look so much more.
It's gonna be
appealing.
sexy.
Yeah, it's not saturated like 3 was or Vegas. Yeah, the colors.
Yeah, it both looks a little bit less colorful, but also more colorful.
Well, it kind of has to fit that theme, but it's not.
More colorful the right ways, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but just like looking at the trailers, it's like, wow, something about it just looks more appealing. Whereas, I've bitched about the way Fallout 3 looked, ever since I played it. I'm like, it was a game I didn't want to keep on looking at. Every time I would
Too
log
green
in,
for you?
I was just like, it's just like dingy and gross, and sure, it might be kind of more
Green
realistic
and
that way, but I'm
gray
like, nope, done with this shit. But the new game, actually, like, even though it's still in the wasteland, it looks more appealing somehow. And
I think they just added
I'm not
color.
sure exactly what they
Yeah,
did
they just
that's
added
different
like
about it.
color and lighting effects.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Like even during the day, even during the day, like Fallout 3,
Now
it was
with
like
Technicolor.
gray, and then at midnight it became darker gray, and then
And then New Vegas had
Yeah, like
kind
an
of
orange and yellowy.
tint to it. Yeah.
And now they actually have good skyboxes.
Yeah, the most colorful New Vegas got
Which one was
Honest
Honest
Hearts,
Hearts?
and people shat on
Was that the one
DLC a lot.
with the
DLC? Yeah, I don't know. That's the one where you go into
Oh,
the,
yeah, with
the canyon or whatever in the Burning
what are they
Man,
called?
The Burned Man.
The Mormons.
Man on
Like
Fire.
they're the Mormon tribe, right? Yeah, with the Man on Fire. And, yeah.
Yeah, they're the newfound Mormon tribe, and yeah, they're bringing together the canyon, and it's pretty cool.
Dude, I'll tell you what I'm really excited about. I just checked on the update for it, like the updated news for it a couple weeks ago, and it's the what's it called? This group of modders that are redoing the Morrowind game.
Yeah.
With fully fledged voice acting, and they're like adding new quests and stuff like that to it, and they're like 75% of the way through now. They like redid the score, added more music, and they're in the process of like recording
I didn't know they were going
all
that
these
involved.
voice lines. Yeah, and they actually rebuilt the entire game using the
Skyrim
engine. Yeah, because
I knew they were doing that to that point and adding voice acting, but I didn't know they were like trying to remake the score and add all these other things.
Oh, they did. It's made. They've recorded it. That part's done now.
Okay.
And they're
so what do they have
also-
left to do?
They're also it's remodeling all of the objects, because Bethesda is kind of a big company, and this is a growing group of modders, but they still don't have the manpower to just kind of model absolutely everything. And that's what they're working on. They're just remodeling everything in the
Okay.
game, all the weapons, all the armor, more weapons. There's a different crafting
I
system.
imagine they can also add a lot of their own like to a certain point custom quest / story elements.
They're adding that as
the-
well. They're just completely fleshing it out and making it more of a complete and modern experience than it ever was before.
Yeah, one of my
Ooh,
favorite
I wonder if
YouTubers
they can
is
add
actually
add some of the like Daedra relations that they did in Oblivion and Skyrim. Like them actually
Possibly. talking
talking to you and you seeing some of them in person.
Yeah, actually, that is the case because with the last video update they released, Gassy Mexican, one of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube,
Really? That's
is
awesome.
the voice of Molag Bal, and he does a fantastic.
Yeah, that was you can actually watch there's 3 making of videos right now, and you can get a snippet of that where he's doing the voice work for it. Like frickin' awesome. I think
That's crazy.
I think for a while they're asking for more voice actors, but I think they've gotten to the point now where they have as many as they possibly need, unless someone wants to volunteer with really good recording equipment and really good skill. That's what they said last time. And unless you have exceptional skill and really good recording equipment, we actually have everything we need right now. I'm like, fucking A, we're getting really close now. I can't
I wonder
wait.
how many people trolled and just sent them like arrow in the knee.
Arrow in the knee. I took an
Let's
arrow.
let's not bring that back.
But everything they show looks gorgeous. And I still can't believe Bethesda's still, like, not on the bandwagon for remaking the game with the
Have
with
they
modern
said
graphics.
anything, like any statements whatsoever towards it, like negative or positive?
No, I mean it's a very public thing that's happening, and Bethesda's
Yeah, and they still
just
haven't
like,
made a statement, like their opinion, like we allow this, we support this, we like acknowledge this, but we're not going to really do anything.
I don't know.
about it.
I honestly
Like,
don't
some
know.
words.
I just assume that since they haven't been shut down yet, Bethesda's just like, okay, sure, do what you want. Kind of like how Bungie
Yeah,
was
probably.
with Red versus Blue with Rooster Teeth. They're just like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, and we'll even support you in doing that.
Yeah, that wasn't until later where they actually put in that little glitch in the next game so they could do the head bobbing. But yeah, that was a really interesting nod there.
Did you hear about the Capcom thing with Resident Evil 2 fan remake that happened like the last couple of weeks?
No.
There was like a long-running project where a bunch of fans were trying to make a Resident Evil 2 remake, and then once Capcom came out and said that they're making one themselves, they're like, "Can you shut this down? But we'd like you to come to our office and talk to us." And I think that's like the best way that a company could do that when they shut something down. To like, we appreciate it, so come on over. We'll
help us
chit chat. Yeah. Give some insight on what you want to do. I think that's a good way of doing it.
they're not discouraging their fans, so to speak.
Yeah, they're not like, what
But
is
they're
this?
protecting
Destroy.
they're protecting their IP. So that's
Right,
understandable.
Yeah. That's understandable.
I mean, like there's
They're trying to do
one that Wolfpack Studios was a company in Austin. In 2003, they released a game called Shadowbane. I don't know if you guys remember that Shadowbane.
Right. Okay.
It was after EverQuest, before World of Warcraft, and it was popular for a few years, and I liked it. I played it a lot. It was actually really cool because it was an MMO where you can actually build your own like castles and territories and create like you could create archers to protect your facility, bring in merchants. And basically, you affected the world economy, and
That's
it got
pretty cool.
really political. I mean, like the people on each server got really political. Like I was a part of a castle that we were so powerful that groups from all around the map decided to work together to destroy our castle, and it just because we affected the economy so much. And then I remember one day it just became a big thing where there was classes where warriors, I don't know if it's still a thing now because I don't play MMOs now, but back then it was warriors and thieves. In a game, a warrior and a thief are not supposed to be a part of the same guild or team or whatever, because one was considered good and one was considered bad. Well, this group I was in, they allowed everyone in. They were very open, and it became some big political debate where
Wow.
I'm not kidding. One night I logged on, and there were about 200 people inside the middle, like in the middle of the castle in this tree, and they were arguing. And basically, the guy that started it all was like, "Look, this is what we're going to happen. This is what thieves are no longer a part of this." And within an instant, people just dozens of people just started attacking each other. And then when that happened, the castle was attacked by this outside group of people, and I'm talking about hundreds. The server was like just at a standstill. It was just horrible lag.
That's like some Rome, the fall of Rome type shit.
That's like some Game of
Seriously,
Thrones
like,
shit.
it's one of those things where I'm watching the whole thing transpire, and I'm like, this is something where you would want
Like
to
imagine there was
document it
one,
and tell
like
a
a
story.
spy from the third party amongst them, and then he like snuck out and was like, "Guys, they're fighting. It's time."
But I'm not kidding. Like the guy that created the castle or the town or whatever said, "Look, this is what we're gonna do because we're getting so much dissension from the server wide. Thieves are no longer allowed in here." And everyone's like, "Fuck you!" And like the thieves just started attacking everybody. So everybody started attacking the thieves. And then right when that happened is when the entire castle went under fire. And they immediately, the first thing this group did was take out all the archers and cannons outside. And then it just became a big mess. And after that, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm signing off. Screw this." But anyway,
Never played
it's
again.
one of those games where it was around for a couple of years, and then they shut it down. They shut the servers down, but they're allowing they basically gave a group of developers the source code to create an emulation of it now. So for the past 4 or 5 years, and this was like, it came out in 2003, and I think it ended in like in 2007. So for the past 8 years, there have been a group of coders that have been out there that have been trying to rebuild this whole world. With Wolfpack Studios source code.
That's
How
pretty
is
cool.
that?
I think it's cool.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, it's a Shadowbane.
That's
I
pretty
just
cool.
wrote it
Like,
down, so hopefully I'll remember.
It's
Yeah.
crazy to think about how creative gamers have become and how they continue to become more creative. It's not like all of gamers, but there's like maybe 1 to 5% of those gamers that make mods and that, code
Well, it's
games
the
with
the modding
source
community
tools.
is like some of the developers of video games are helping, and like Steam is the best example. Like they're supporting modding of their game to the fullest extent, where hey, here's a workshop that you can submit your mods to, that other users just have to click a subscribe button and apply your
I know,
mod
like,
to their game.
Space Engineers, even some of the developers have made mods for their own game where they're like, yeah, we weren't able to get this into the game release, but if you want it, here it is. Which is pretty cool.
And like Minecraft constantly puts out a like modding API for everyone else of all the like massive world of modders that community has. Like it not only is it becoming like stronger, it's like more supported and more people are like having fun doing it. Like very, very quickly after the game's release, they were already modding this game, even though it didn't really have any like way to mod it. Like the files were all packed, but they figured out how to do it. And now I'm playing as a character you're not supposed to. Be
Oh,
able
you
to play
playing Metal
as,
Gear?
because I've swapped the models around.
Well, that's really what has always made PC gaming as great as it actually is. And in a way, it's kind of I want to call it almost like the anti-EA, not movement, but that's kind of what PC gaming actually is, where like if you download something from Origins, like the new SimCity, for example, that came out a couple of years ago, and they fought modding tooth and nail. They're like, no, there's no modding, there's no this, there's no that. You can't do anything to our game except pay for it. And that's all you can do for it. And like among the other problems that it had, like that was one of the reasons why there was such huge backlash, because in previous iterations, the modding is what kept that game alive. Like SimCity 4 stayed relevant for almost a decade because the modding community kept it going. And you just don't get that with the standard AAA titles that come out on not only on PC but also particularly on consoles, because you can't mod console games. So it's like, okay, I'm going to play my game, then I got to go buy a new one because I'm done playing with it. Whereas if you're on the computer, you can be like, okay, I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to mod it, and then I'm going to play the modded version, and then I'm going to mod it again, I'm going to play it again. It's just so much more you can do.
But with Fallout 4, they've announced that they're going to port over popular mods from PC to the Xbox One and PS4 for the game. Watch, with the success of that and the longevity of that, you're going to see other developers do that too.
I hope so.
That's very
That'd be
smart.
nice to not have to like completely forego customizing your game just because you wanted to play on a system where you only had it on a system.
Yeah, I mean that's why a lot of people don't want to jump to console for specific, really big large map games, is because they want to be able to have the ability to mod it to increase replay value on it. So, yeah, I mean, Bethesda said, we're going to allow mods. They'll be ported over into the store, and you can download them on Xbox One and PS4. So watch, people are going to do that, and then the sales just for the game are going to continually be steady for a while, and then you're going to see other games, because that's how business works. It's find your competitor and what they're doing right, and just copy them. That's what they're going to do.
Well, I hope
which
other,
is kind of beneficial for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I hope other companies wind up doing that. But and it's kind of interesting though. They're still using the baseline of what's popular on the PC. We'll port over to the games if we can, or to the consoles if we can. So the PC is still kind of setting the standard there.
Yeah, because it's a lot more easy for anyone to actually put stuff and take stuff out with all console stuff. It's nearly locked in unless you're like a really good hacker or
you
modder.
can access the command console from the PC way easier. Like there's all kinds of tools and modding tools that the PC has or has had for years. So it's a little easier for the basically
and like modding programs like packaging, unpackaging, like separate from the actual modding of a game, like just tools that people have created to help you do things.
Exactly,
and
it's pretty cool.
To not even to affect gameplay. Like right now, all I have is a visual update. So in multiplayer, like it doesn't affect me or give me any advantage whatsoever. It's just a funny little thing that I'm able to do with the character models that only I can see.
So we've been talking about video games a lot, and that's one of our passions. I'd like to hope for all of us here. Has anyone played anything new or picked anything up recently? I know Wubbs has picked up Soma. I've just recently picked up or re-picked up Destiny. What about
I picked
Dark
up the expansion pack to Cities Skylines After Dark. And it adds the day and night cycle that that SimCity had, and a lot of people wanted it, but because it was such a small team, they couldn't actually incorporate it.
Couldn't really,
They've reworked the traffic system so that there's less traffic at night, and they've made it to where you can actually specialize your commercial districts, so you can have commercial districts that are more focused on tourism, and other commercial districts that are more focused on nightlife, or just your regular old like skyscraper type commercial districts.
Do they allow you to put like bars and clubs?
Yeah,
and
that would
like
be
that?
the nightlife section, and the traffic for those actually stay running 24 hours. So even though there's reduced traffic everywhere, you'll see an increased amount of traffic coming from the city going to those particular areas.
Nice.
And the residents that live near them hate you for it because you get the loud noise all the time. And I'm like, oh shit, I need to move my residential zones farther away from this stuff because it is so loud and bright and flashy, and none of the residents can sleep.
Who needs sleep when you can party?
Yeah, sleep's overrated. What about you, Chaos? Any new games you picked up?
Well, I've just been having a whole lot of fun playing this, and then also modding and starting to switch around things. So, just this entire game has been a wonderful experience.
This being Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, Metal Gear.
Okay, right on. Mr. Fusion?
No, I haven't had time to play any games, guys.
Okay, fair enough.
He's too busy doing his sports podcast.
I'm busy doing a sports podcast and pretending to know what I'm talking about. So.
Gotcha. What about
Sorry.
you, Lil Zelda? What do you got going on?
I finally played Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight's badass, right?
I love Shovel Knight. I thought it was great. I
Knight's
immediately
kick-ass.
started Plague of Shadows. So
Oh,
that's
God.
new. Plague of Shadows is new, so I'm not like totally behind.
Yeah, Plague of Shadows is really cool. The mechanics are interesting, though.
Is
not
it like
normal.
a expansion
fucking
pack,
jump.
or is that
It's an expansion
game?
pack, but you play as the Plague Knight.
Oh,
So it just came out relatively
Cool.
recently as free DLC, and the way it's got the character selection screen set up, it kind of looks like they're planning on doing that for other nights as well.
I'd imagine
which would be
so.
Super cool.
Which would be
But
so cool.
yes, so they just did the Plague Knight one. I started it the other day.
How are you handling that,
the-
by the way?
Fuck the jumping boosty rocket bullshit. Fuck that mechanic, man. Like, it was cool for all of 3 seconds, and then I spent 20 minutes trying to get over the same section, and I'm like, at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, no, fuck, this
Shovel
is terrible.
Knight to begin with is like pretty. It's not like some of it gets easier as time goes on because you learn the mechanics and you get better at it. But what the Plague Knight does is his mechanics are completely different from Shovel Knight. So it's like, oh fuck, now I need to learn everything all over again.
everything
God
looks the
damn
same,
it.
but it isn't the same.
Exactly.
I do like how it's cool that they've set it up where essentially his story is happening like parallel to what's going on with Shovel Knight. So like when you go into town, you can see Shovel Knight running around doing stuff, and like some of the stuff that you do as Plague Knight provides an explanation for why other things happened in Shovel Knight's story.
I love it when games do that.
I thought that was pretty cool. Like I started going through the one dungeon and something happens, and I'm like, oh, that's why that thing was like that. Like, it didn't occur to me as something that needed explanation, but now that it has one, I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That is so cool. So it's like lore expansion on the game itself. So that's cool.
Yep, definitely.
Did you think the DLC was worth it, like cost-wise and all that?
Well, it was free, so it was absolutely worth it.
Oh, awesome.
It's like you can't argue with free, you know. When it's free, it's always worth it.
Yeah, it's very hard to argue.
Well, then in that case, it would just be a question of was it worth your time in playing?
I think so. So I only just started it. I did it on stream yesterday. I finished Shovel Knight and then immediately launched into Plague of Shadows. So I'm only through like the first boss thing, but I mean that means I spent like an hour on it. And I fully intend on playing through the whole thing.
Right
I'm saying that now. By the time I get to like the 6th or 7th one, I might be like, "Fuck this jumping thing, I'm done," and then like rage break a controller and walk away and never touch it again.
I'm sure you'll get the hang of it eventually, maybe, hopefully.
Have you ever rage break the controller?
I have not broken a controller. I have fractured a bone in my hand.
Tried to break a controller.
Wow.
But
What game was this?
I don't want to talk about it. Look, Zelda 2 is really fucking
Oh,
Wait. You're talking about NES Zelda 2?
Yeah, Zelda 2.
Oh, that game is a fucking pain in the ass.
I know. See, you know what I'm talking about.
That
yeah,
fucking, especially when you have to fight that knight with the head that pops off and you have to do the downward stab. Oh, god damn.
I only beat that game for the first time a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So, granted, I gave up for a couple years after the whole almost breaking my hand thing, but
Jesus.
You know.
Well, you know.
Like, fuck that game, man.
Small details, right?
But I made it my bitch. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're doing better than me.
I think the first time I broke a controller, I was playing the original Ninja Gaiden.
Gaiden.
Yeah, Gaiden.
That's
Ninja
one of the
Gaiden.
hardest games. Yes.
Man, I've never actually broken a controller or a TV screen or a wall because of game rage. I have screamed at the top of my lungs for 30 seconds though.
Yeah.
And shouted obscenities that I probably would never normally shout.
It's like that mix where like I am obviously very angry at whatever's going on, but I'm like, this is one of my only controllers, so that I guess in the back of my mind prevents me from actually taking my anger out on the controller itself.
My love
so
for
I
video
beat
games
everything
making
else
you
around
angry.
it.
Yeah, I'll like hold the controller in my hand and like beat it against the floor, but it's actually my hand that I'm hitting against the floor, so it hurts. But I'm not hurting the controller because I don't want to break it.
Yeah, it's like your love or addiction for video games prevents you from.
Well,
killing
no,
the video
and
game on a physical level.
like you don't have a bucket full of spare controllers.
Well,
but you're still angry.
I did for the original Xbox. I had so many of those. But my Xbox 360, I had 5 controllers, and I'm down to 2. They keep disappearing. I don't know what's up with that.
Disappearing, being eaten.
Just whoop, they're gone. Actually, over the course of the time I've had my Xbox, I think I've had a total of 7 controllers for it, and I'm down to 2. I have no idea where they're going.
That is
Ken's building a super controller.
He's building a super controller that takes 3 people to pilot. Did anyone see this link that Mr. Fusion put into the Skype chat?
Oh yeah,
it's pretty.
What is it?
Bad
What is it?
taste?
Why would you buy that? Why would you buy that?
I'm gonna make sure that has this gone in the Twitch chat.
I already put it in the Twitch chat. It's for,
okay,
for them.
Why is this a thing, man?
It's a Christmas ornament
with this?
from the original Star Trek movie series, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, where to save the ship,
You are
Spock
and shall
exposes
always
himself
be
to
my friend.
radiation, and he's dying. And it's the scene where Kirk and Spock like share a moment, touching hands against the glass, right before Spock dies of radiation poisoning. Why would you want to buy that?
Because you
have a
hate
sense
your
of
life?
Now I want to buy it for everybody just as a joke. So I think it
Exactly.
worked.
It's a joke ornament, basically, but it's so sad.
Like send it to my dad or something. He's not listening to the podcast. He won't know what's coming.
Yeah, he won't know.
I mean, there's so many other like I said, I'm waiting for my old Yeller get shot ornament.
I don't think I'd be able to handle that on an emotional level.
The sad old man by the empty bed from Up. How about that ornament? Yeah.
Oh, God,
what are some,
that
what are
would
some
be
better
very-
You know
ornaments to have
what?
out there?
Oh, this reminds me of we could totally do this on Steven Universe. There's this TV show called like the Crying Breakfast Cereal Friends, and all they do is just they just sit around and cry, and no one gets the show. Steven likes to watch it because he's a little kid, but no one else gets the show, and they're like, "This is disturbing. Why does he watch this? I don't know." But there's a market for that. We could totally like make
Wait,
some of these.
they just cry as the entire thing, or
Yeah,
that's literally
just
all the
breakfast
show
cereal
does.
people that
Yeah.
stand around and cry. That's the whole show, and it's supposed to be pointless and make you scratch your head like, "What the fuck?"
Can we just give a heads up or just like a thumbs
that
up?
sounds
to the
like
fact-
there was when I was like going around YouTube a lot with the creepypasta stories when I first discovered that there was literally a show that was that, and that was one of the like this was a cartoon that was like
So we should
canceled and
so
vanished.
we
and
should
stuff.
totally create a line of Christmas ornaments designed to make you cry. We call them like the crying Christmas ornaments or something like that, and just make sure you have the most depressing Christmas ever.
Oh, like, oh God, this is so sad.
Oh,
Thinking
Christmas
about it
Carol.
makes me
Oh, Christmas story.
Like an
first
actual
one
like
could
version
be
of
the
where,
old
you know,
Yeller.
what's the movie where you
Yes.
get the guys like, "Yo, shoot your eye out"? What's that movie? Which one movie is that one? The
A Christmas Story.
Yeah, the Christmas Story. So it's like, what if there was an actual, what if there was an actual ornament where he shot his eye out and his eyeball's like on the ground and he's like bleeding to death and he's like, "Oh God, why?"
Sad stuff in movies.
That, I mean, it'd be also very sad.
What are some other ones? Think of a few other ones that would be fun. Let's see.
Jack kneeling at the grave of Zero at the Nightmare Before Christmas.
I was just
Instead of,
about to say,
Zero
yeah.
ever existing. He's just mourning the loss of Zero, his dog. Ugh. No spoilers,
Obi-Wan-
by the
Obi-Wan-
way.
That's an
Crying.
interesting pair of names.
Obi-Wan crying in front of
That's
Qui-Gon's
a
body.
very interesting pair of names.
The
Just a Jar Jar
the
Binks ornament.
miniature box set of the episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars.
Oh man, come on.
No, seriously, like one where Obi-Wan's kneeling in front of the body of Qui-Gon.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Jinn.
Oh
Yeah, hello?
it's sliced in half. Yeah. That'd be good. Merry Christmas.
Well,
There's
it-
also would be a
Oh,
great-
Is Wubbs
No!
still on the call? Are you there, Wubbs? Are you
Yeah,
there?
Wubbs, say
Okay,
stuff.
so Wubbs would know this one because of because he's a Transformers fan from Transformers the movie, The Death of Optimus Prime. Oh God, damn, that would be horrible.
What about the horse from Neverending Story that dies in the Swamp of Sadness?
Oh my
God, you're
gosh!
so wrong.
The horse that actually died.
The Swamp of Sorrows. Oh, man.
no. Lozella,
It's
do you have
kind
any...
of worse if you think that was actually a horse dying.
Yeah,
like-
Lozelda, do you have any suggestions for the sad ornaments?
Gosh,
sad,
yeah.
depressing ornaments?
No, I'm just gonna sit over here and keep drinking my wine and try to not.
Try not to cry
She's like,
too much.
she's like on the
Hey, go-
verge of tears
go
over
pop a
there,
Lexapro
sipping on her
or
wine.
something,
Like, I
yeah.
can't.
Isn't that one of like
what you're talking
the?
about. Shut up.
Isn't that one of the like memed pictures? It's like sit down, try not to cry, cry a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about they curl up in a ball? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
It's taken from one of those like airline instructions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
I think
see.
my-
What are some other ones?
Yeah, I'm trying to think here.
Yeah, I'm,
When Cortana... spoilers for Halo 4, but Cortana's dead,
well, I
so...
mean-
Master Chief and
Sad
mourning the
stuff.
loss of Cortana. That'd be pretty... I don't know, maybe that's just me. I think that's like a
Nah.
super nerdy one, but...
nah.
Just sad stuff. Sad stuff indeed.
Well, there's sad stuff and there's like sad, but also very like touching. Like I know a
Yeah.
couple scenes that
boss
like
is dead.
most everyone else wouldn't get, but certain scenes from this series of games, Metal Gear, like are very sad and are sad in the moment, but are also like shown many times in like future games as like
Oh,
symbolic or.
Oh, here's
I have
another
one. I have
When
one.
you push the little button on the bottom.
Go for it.
No, just showing
Mufasa's
what's his
death.
name, Scar, like digging his claws into him, and just when you push the little button on the bottom, it goes,
Christmas
"Long live the king."
No, you bastard.
What would it be showing?
Or that when he's falling, like, a picture of him falling with the buffalo behind him.
What's
God, I
worse,
got one.
him falling or him buried beneath the buffalo and Simba finding him? I think that one's probably the worst one, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's not as
I
iconic.
wanna know what it is,
That's
Mr.
like
Fusion.
after the
Yeah,
fact.
fair enough.
I'm so evil.
I think Shovel Knight mourning the loss of Shield Knight because Shovel Knight didn't catch Shield Knight in one of his dreams or something. That'd be pretty sad too. That's a Shovel Knight thing, though.
Was that
Wait,
yours?
he gets sad at some point? Because I totally missed her, and I didn't see that happening.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that'd be a great ornament. Like, she actually dies
Oh,
because he
okay.
didn't catch her, that kind of thing.
Wait,
Gotcha. I
now
was like,
you're
that
making
totally did not fucking
now you're
happen.
making shit up. No.
Well, no, you can-
you
you
lose
just
at your own
creative-
game
I mean,
now.
No,
If we want to
creative
start making
liberties.
shit up that'll be sad, then we could be here forever.
Here's mine, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of groans for this one. Brad Pitt's character in Seven. He's standing there,
Oh, no.
and a box is in front of him.
No.
Fuck.
That is
I
bad.
think we have to end the podcast there.
And
Bad
now
YouTube
that is how
song.
we end the podcast. Okay, folks.
We can't get any more depressing than that.
I kind of want
Plug
to play
away.
that sad YouTube song to outro us.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't worry. Hey, don't do that because the copyright strike. Fucking bullshit.
Yes.
Goddamn
Oh yeah, that
fucking
song
bullshit.
that was the like meme sad song for a very long time. Who had an established like this is the guy that made it. This is where it's from. But you know, a lot of people were using it. He was fine with it. Someone else put some words to it, but it's the exact same beat. And now anyone who has ever used
That's-
that song is
one of
immediately
our-
given a copyright strike.
Yeah, one of our videos was flagged for that, by the way.
Yeah,
So
it's not
bullshit.
actually a strike, but it's like if we
Use
were,
that for the outro.
revenue
We can't
was being
monetize
made
it.
from that, anyone is affected by that.
Yeah.
Though on a positive note, the Happy Birthday song is now in the public domain.
Yes, it's in public domain.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Do not.
Any
Do
birthdays
not.
coming up?
Any birthdays coming up? Yeah, that's a good point.
Mine's not until November. No.
Okay, so we'll do that later. But now that we're sort of wrapping up the podcast, I'm going to do the Tejan thing and plug our social media stuff. Definitely go check out our TFT Plays channel, where you'll be seeing a lot more of YouTube content when it comes to video games and other things of that nature. You can check us at TFT Plays for Twitter, and then for TFT Productions on YouTube, that's where you'll find the podcast. And if you look up the forum thread in iTunes, you'll find our podcast for iTunes, where you can subscribe. And if you like our stuff, leave a positive review. You can also follow us on the forum thread on Twitter and the forum thread Facebook. Give us a like, give us a comment. We appreciate that. It lets us know that you're there. And if you have anything to share on stuff and things, you can do that there. We also have a Tumblr, Instagram, Vine, and Reddit. Alrighty, guys, that's the time that's been allotted to us, and I appreciate you guys listening to my little plug for the rest of our stuff. You guys have a wonderful day, and a magical one at that.
I love how you thank them for listening to the thing at the end.
Thank you for staying through my ramblings.
Good night, everybody. See you again,
Night.
same time next
Good night,
week.
everybody.
Hey. Hey.